Hazrat Ali karamallahu ta'ala wajhahul kareem was present in the blessed haram of the Kaaba, and he was there with both of his sons, Sayyidina Imam Hassan Mujtaba and Sayyidina Imam Ali Maqam, Sayyidina Imam Hussein radiyallahu ta'ala anhuma as well. In the haram, he noticed that a person was making dua, and he was crying, and he was crying, and he was making dua in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Hazrat Ali karamallahu ta'ala wajhahul kareem ordered that the person should be brought to him. So since that person's body was paralyzed, he started dragging his legs when he came walking towards Hazrat Ali karamallahu ta'ala wajhahul kareem. So Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu asked that what happened? What's the situation? Why is your body paralyzed, your legs? How did it become paralyzed? What's the reason? What incident occurred? Allah. The person replied, "Oh Amirul Mu'mineen, I was extremely fearless when it came to committing sins. I used to commit sins openly, and openly I used to disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So my father was a pious man, my father was a righteous man, and he kept on advising me, that what you are doing is wrong, you are committing sins, you are disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He kept on preventing me from committing sins." So he says that one day the anger built up inside of me, that my father kept on telling me that don't commit sins, have fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I kept on getting angry. So he says one day my anger reached its peak, its limit, and what happened was that I started hitting my father. Allahu Akbar. He's saying that after being beaten by me, my father became sad. And then he came to the haram of the Kaaba, and then he made dua against me. He says that the words came out from the mouth of my father, and immediately I was cursed and my legs became paralyzed. Since that day, I'm not able to walk properly. It means one side of my body became paralyzed. So he says that when this punishment came to me from the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I felt a regret in my heart, and I became very sad. So I went to my father and I started crying, and I apologized. "Oh my dear father, please forgive me. Please forgive me. What I did was wrong, but now I realized my mistake. Please forgive me." He says my father had immense love for me. So when the fatherly love covered his heart, then he felt pity for me. He felt sorry for me. Which father, which parent would like their child to be in loss and in difficulty? So the father said, "Oh my son, come. I will make dua for your health at the exact same place where I made dua against you." Means let's go to the haram, and the same place where I made dua against you, I'm going to make dua in your favor, and inshallah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept my dua. Subhanallah. So he says that myself and my father were coming to Makkah on a she camel, and on the way the camel got scared of something and he started running. When the camel ran, my father fell off the camel and he fell between some rocks, and in that falling he passed away. Allahu Akbar. He says that, "Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, O Ali karamallahu ta'ala wajhahul kareem, my father passed away. I came alone here to Haram Kaaba, and I am still in this position here, and I am crying in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, Ya Allah, grant me shifa, grant me health." And Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu heard the sad story, so he had pity on him, and he said, "Oh person, if your father had really been pleased with you, then be relaxed, stay calm. Inshallah azza wa jal, everything will get better." Hazrat Ali karamallahu ta'ala wajhahul kareem said these words, then he offered a few rakats of salah and made dua for that person, and then said, "Qum, stand up." The narrator said that when that person heard this, he stood up without any trouble, and he started walking towards Hazrat Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Subhanallah. From this incident, there are two important things which we learn and we must keep in mind. Number one, the respect of parents is extremely important. The moment a parent makes dua against the child, the dua is accepted in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And sometimes just one dua the parents make against the child can destroy the children's life, and everything can be finished. Everything will go away from the child. And the second thing we learn from this, so every moment a person should always try and take good duas and blessings from their parents, and always try to always keep their parents pleased with them.